Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, October 24th, a chilly morning here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Temperatures in the mid-30s in many of the suburban locations along the I-95 corridor. For example, in the northern and western suburbs of Philadelphia right now, in the mid-30s. Looks like the next couple of nights may actually be a little bit colder with low temperatures down near freezing and some frost certainly possible. This is the coldest air mass of the season so far. Here in the northeastern part of the country, there is some snow falling right now in the snow belts just downwind of the Great Lakes. Garrett County, Maryland, yesterday picked up a couple of inches of snow. It's snowing this morning not far from the Cleveland, Ohio area. Again, some of the higher elevations of northwestern Pennsylvania, they're seeing some snow, and we'll get into all of that in a moment. Before we get into the local weather situation, I wanted to take a quick look at the latest solar image. I posted about this yesterday, the fact that there are a couple of large sunspot regions right now, and you can see them right here. Here's one facing the Earth directly, and here's a second one right here, and they've not only a large sunspot regions, but they're fairly active. This one, in fact, did indeed erupt with a solar flare, an M-class solar flare last evening, about 8 o'clock Eastern time, and that'll be monitored over the next few hours to see if in fact a coronal mass ejection occurred with that. But both of these regions will have to be watched over the next 24 hours or so. They are active, they are large, and they are directly facing the Earth, so we certainly can have more in the way of solar flare activity over the next day or two. Well, here's the latest surface map, and by far the dominating feature is this strong, cold, high-pressure system over the northern plains, southern part of Canada. Strong northwesterly flow of air on the eastern side of that high-pressure system, blowing the coldest air of the year across the Great Lakes, causing lots of snow shower activity and accumulating snow in some of the downwind locations of these Great Lakes, again, from the western mountains of Maryland and West Virginia all the way across western Pennsylvania, western New York into northeastern Ohio. There's some snow falling, and it's very cold for this time of the year all across the upper part of the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic region, and New England, and it will remain below normal temperature-wise right through the upcoming weekend. Well, here's the current radar loop from the Penn State Ewald site, and you can see in white snow falling right now across the Great Lakes region, some snow falling in the higher elevations across western and northern Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and again Garrett County, Maryland had a couple inches of snow yesterday. All of this as this large, cold, high-pressure system just gradually drifts to the east. Looks like it'll remain below normal for the next several days here across the Great Lakes and the Northeast, and snow showers can occur not only later on today into tonight, but really for the next couple of days throughout the higher elevations of the Northeast and across the Great Lakes region. Here's a current infrared satellite loop from the SSEC Wisconsin website. Lots of low clouds here associated with moisture coming in off the Great Lakes. Strong high pressure anchored over the northern plains right now and promoting the northwesterly flow of air. Now this time of the year the Great Lakes are still relatively warm, certainly compared to what they will be in a month or two. And with this very cold air for this time of the year crossing the still relatively warm Great Lakes, it's a good setup for lake effect type snows, and indeed that's what's happening again in places like northeastern Ohio, western and northern Pennsylvania, all the way down to the West Virginia and Maryland mountains, and that'll continue for the next couple of days. Well, let's take a look at a couple of computer forecast maps for the next few nights. This is from last night's 0Z GFS model run for this evening. Just cold air here across the Great Lakes into the northeastern part of the country. Again, tonight is liable to be a little bit colder than last night. Tomorrow, early morning temperatures in the low 30s in many of the suburban areas across the I-95 corridor, all the way from D.C. up to New York City. Those suburban areas certainly can have frost late tonight, early tomorrow, with temperatures at or right around the freezing mark, a few degrees colder than what was experienced this morning. Still some lake effect snows by this evening all across the great eastern part of the Great Lakes, and there will be some clouds crossing the Appalachians into the I-95 corridor, but it should stay precipitation free, but certainly it can be a mix of some clouds as the hours progress into the morning and afternoon today. Here's a forecast map for tomorrow evening. Now the high pressure kind of drives down to the south and east, and that will allow for some modification in temperatures as we progress into the weekend. Still below normal for this time of the year, but certainly it can be a few degrees milder on Saturday and Sunday, for example, compared to today and tomorrow. Still below normal for this time of the year. Here's a forecast map for Saturday evening from last night's Zero-Z GFS model run. Kind of a reinforcing cool front here crossing the Great Lakes by the middle part of the weekend. Again, a little bit milder conditions here in the Mid-Atlantic region on Saturday, but still below normal for this time of the year. So the chilliest air of the year right now is entrenched in the Mid-Atlantic region and will stay below normal temperature-wise for the next several days. That's it for now. For the SIWeather.com, I'm the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian.